Yo, I'm telling you, this is gonna get streamlined. I'm telling you. This is just gonna become part of my, daily routine of just checking in and letting the world know how I'm doing. For anyone who's interested in such a thing. How are we doing? First off, I gotta say, how appreciative I am of the very small amount of interaction that I've been getting from people who are watching these videos. Super cool. Considering the fact that I've always been a pretty antisocial, introverted type of individual, understanding that in order to get paid to be the best version of myself, essentially that requires a much higher level of interaction and integration into the rest of the world, the rest of the human race. And I need you guys. I need you guys. I need your help. I need your support. I need to provide value to you in whatever way that I can, whether it's through information, entertainment, or just someone that you can relate to, a friend on the internet that you click on the video of to check in with and see how I'm doing, and perhaps whatever I'm going through is something that you are experiencing in your world and in your neck of the woods. On that note, that's already starting to happen where yesterday I posted a video, a little update, and person reached out to me that I'd never spoken to, and he sent me an email and he gave me a little bit of an update on what's going on in his life and the struggles that he's experiencing on a daily basis. And I just think that's so cool. It's so cool. And I'm looking forward to getting further into these types of interactions. One thing that I used to say all the time, which I acknowledge now that it doesn't really serve my pursuits, is that my justification for being something of a solo individual, not a person who typically reaches out to people to hang out and spend time with them, is because I've always been convinced that the experience of life is not exclusive to you as the person experiencing life. Which is to say that the reason I never hit people up to hang out with them or ask questions about how they're doing, even though it's something that I'm going to change, but the reason why I don't really practice those habits, at least in the past, is because I'm not going to hear some sort of experience coming out of the mouth of someone else that I'm not going through already. For instance, we've all been in love before. If you get to a certain age, if you're in your 30s, you've most likely been in love before. If you get to a certain age and you continue to live life and experience life amongst the human population, the entire range of feelings, emotions, experiences that are going to occur are practically identical, especially the longer you live, identical to everyone else around you. So the concept of me wanting to reach out to a person and learn or get like a download of the experiences that they're having, even though they're pretty much simultaneous with the experience that I'm having of life, I never really saw the value in it. So yeah. Another thing is that I've always been a self-soother. So if I'm in a bad place mentally, I don't typically look for other people to put me in a better mood. I usually figure it out on my own, like, okay, what does Sean Fury need in order to think more positively about his circumstances? And I most often go down instead of up before I can actually dig myself out a hole. I dig that hole deeper. Definitely a practice that I'm aiming to change. A lot of practices to change. Just overall, the goal of just being more extroverted. Extroversion. So for anyone watching, you got any tips? Got any tips on being extroverted? The practices that I'm learning to implement is to reach out to people more often. I can't tell you how many times throughout the day a face or a name will flicker through my head. A person that I've interacted with or I haven't spoken to in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and I will ignore it. And I just won't do anything with that little flicker that happens in the head. And, I had a podcast episode with my co-producer and close friend Gary Smith on my channel, The Apex Frequency, which is a bit neglected right now, and I really look forward to changing that. But anyway, we were talking about our daily routine, and one thing that he mentioned is that whenever he gets that flicker of a person that pops in his head throughout the day, he makes it a point to just shoot him a quick text and say, hey, you popped up in my head. I hope you're doing well. Hope to catch up sometime soon. And I like that. I like that idea of just checking in on people, because that's the future. The future has me experiencing more than 1,000 people, knowing 1,000 people's names more, helping, experiencing, cohabitating, just interacting with overall over 1,000 people, maybe 10,000 people, maybe even more. Who the hell knows? But it starts here. It starts with giving a shit about people other than me, instead of just figuring that everyone's going to be okay. Everyone will be okay, but it doesn't hurt to get a little involved. So that's the new thought I'm having. Instead of just waiting for people to sort out their own problems, which has been my preference in the past, getting involved with other people's struggles, finding some relatability, and working off of that. So yeah, that's where my current thinking is. What else is going on? Whenever I start these videos, I always think like, yeah, I could talk for a while. I've got plenty of thoughts and things going on in my head. And if I don't have a script, which I don't at this point, it is easy to kind of veer off into the nethers and kind of just do a stream of consciousness, which is okay for the time being because I'm still establishing my brand and exactly the type of stuff that I want to talk about. I was walking outside, going to grab a coffee since the day was beautiful, and I was walking with my roommate, and we were talking about my future content and exactly what it is that I'm trying to do so far as branding myself, etc. And I described the type of content I want to make, like if I were to be a consumer of it, like what would I want to see? And I made it pretty simple. I think it'd be cool to watch a chill, relaxed, shredded dude talk about philosophy in a very casual way, not necessarily trying to preach or instruct another individual how to live their life, but more so giving insight on my specific perspective as to how I live mine and why. Not saying that I'm perfect, not saying that I have all the answers, but I think that there is something there for people to kind of latch onto. Because if there's any sort of curiosity as to why one specific individual does the thing that they do, where their motivations come from, where their behaviors come from, one thing I always get complimented on is my level of self-awareness, and that's what a person's going to get from me. Self-awareness as to why I do the things that I do. And hopefully, for the most part, I'm able to share positive habits. And for the negative habits that I comment on, hopefully you as the viewer will learn not to copy those negative habits. So that's the plan. Shredded dude, chill, laid back, talking about philosophy, and being consistent with that. That's what the Apex of All Alphas is doing with his YouTube channel. And as the production value increases, we can get more into the storytelling aspect of the plan. But we're not there yet. For now, it's just talking. Okay, well, Hard Summer's coming up. That's a rave. First rave I ever went to last year, Hard Summer. And I want to do things different this year in 2023. Last year it was in August, and I had been preparing for a photo shoot in July. Got down to 7% body fat. Didn't really like how I did it. I lost more lean muscle mass than I would have liked. But I still looked pretty presentable. And, the photo shoot was, let's say, on the 17th of July. And the rave, which was, hard summer, you're outside in the beautiful heat of California, and you're just having a great time. The rave was on August 5th, so essentially 2 weeks from the photo shoot. And if I was 179 for the photo shoot, I must have been 200 pounds by the time I went to the rave, and I looked exactly what you what do they say, you are what you eat. Yeah, I looked exactly like what I was eating for those 2 weeks, which was nothing but carbohydrates, cupcakes to be exact. I remember there was one day in that 2 week time span where I had 6 fucking cupcakes in one day. I went to one cupcake shop, which was directly outside of my office in downtown LA. I got 2 cupcakes from there, ate them, then walked down the street and went to another cupcake shop, got 2 cupcakes from there, ate them, and then I became aware of a third cupcake shop, walked a couple blocks more, had 2 cupcakes from there, and ate them. And I gained essentially 20 pounds in 2 weeks. And when I went to the rave, I was still getting complimented, like, oh, dude, your physique is so good. But I looked like a cupcake. My cheeks were fat. I just had fat all over me. Similar to how I look right now. I'm 205 right now. A bit less puffy than the rave last year. But still heavy, still thick. Still higher body fat than is my preference. So my plan for this year, it's April 19th. And the rave is on August 5th, which is in 3 months from now. Actually, 14 weeks to be exact. And my intention is to come in as shredded as physically possible. And that really means that for the next 14 weeks, dialing the fuck in. And going back to the aesthetic physique that I am just so into. Not for anyone or anything else other than the fact that it satisfies me. And essentially I have to lose 2 pounds a week over the next 14 weeks, which is not really difficult. I've done it a couple of times already over the past couple of years. So it's not a new feat. It's just one that requires a lot of focus, attention, discipline, and all the necessary things. Consistency, etc. So I'll be providing updates on that routinely over the next 14 weeks as we head over there. And then when the rave comes, I get to celebrate. Hey, all that hard work gets to pay off, and now I'm at this rave shirtless and rolling in the best shape of my life. I contemplate the concept of eating food for fuel. And that's what I meditate on. Food is for fuel. Nutrition. Hitting your macros. All right. Well, a short one. I could really talk for a long time, but I'm going to end it now. Let's keep the interaction going. If you're still watching this, tell me about your goals. Tell me about your day. How are things? This is going to be a community. We're going to grow this into a beautiful community, and we're all going to be buddies. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Like and subscribe. Thank you for being a part of this, and thank you for helping me actualize myself. Hopefully I can provide some value as well. Deuces.